Hello students, this is assistance on the Socratic Seminar text. I don't have the capability to use a target as I read, so you'll just want to follow along with my voice. The instructions say to read in Mutt. Numbering the paragraphs would be a nightmare, so I divided the text into sections. As you read, think about the big question, should parents be held criminally responsible for acts committed by their children? And you know this is the audio version because you're listening to it. The title says, Jury finds Jennifer Crumbley, the Michigan school shooter's mother, guilty of manslaughter. And I'm telling you that manslaughter is a crime of causing the death of someone. So it is different from murder. So vehicular manslaughter, for instance, is if you hit somebody in your vehicle and you kill them, you didn't really mean to set out to murder them, but you did take someone's life. In italics, it says, a jury found the Oxford High School shooter's mother guilty of involuntary manslaughter in a groundbreaking trial to determine whether she has any responsibility in the deaths of 4 students in 2021. This article is sourced from apnews.com, and it's not quite a year old. You could see it was from February 6, 2024. So this is section 1. A Michigan jury convicted a school shooter's mother of involuntary manslaughter Tuesday in the killings of 4 students in 2021, making her the first parent in the U.S. to be held responsible for a child carrying out a mass school attack. Prosecutors say Jennifer Crumbley had a duty under state law to prevent her son, who was 15 at the time, from harming others. She was accused of failing to secure a gun and ammunition at home and failing to get help to support Ethan Crumbley's mental health. The 4 guilty verdicts, one for each student slain at Oxford High School, were returned after roughly 11 hours of deliberations. Jennifer Crumbley, 45, looked down and shook her head slightly as each juror was polled after the verdicts were read. On her way out of the courtroom, prosecutor Karen McDonald hugged relatives of victims Justin Schilling and Madison Baldwin. Thank you, a man whispered to her. We are now section 2. Jennifer and James Crumbley were the first parents in the U.S. to be charged in a mass school shooting committed by their child. James Crumbley faces trial in March. The cries have been heard, and I feel this verdict is going to echo throughout every high school in the country, Justin's father, Craig Schilling, said outside the courtroom. I feel it's necessary, and I'm happy with the verdict. It's still a sad situation to be in. It's got to stop. It's an accountability, and this is what we've been asking for a long time now, Schilling said. A gag order by the judge prevented McDonald and defense attorney Shannon Smith from speaking to reporters. On the morning of November 30th, 2021, school staff members were concerned about a violent drawing of a gun, bullet, and wounded man, accompanied by desperate phrases, on Ethan Crumbley's math assignment. His parents were called to the school for a meeting, but they didn't take the boy home. A few hours later, Ethan Crumbley pulled a handgun from his backpack and shot 10 students and a teacher. No one had checked the backpack. The gun was the Sig Sauer 9mm his father had purchased with him just 4 days earlier. Jennifer Crumbley had taken her son to a shooting range that same weekend. Outside the courthouse, the jury forewoman, who declined to give her name, said jurors were influenced by evidence that Jennifer Crumbley was the last adult to possess the gun. That really hammered it home, she told reporters. Indeed, the jury saw images of Jennifer Crumbley leaving the shooting range with the gun in a box. You saw your son shoot the last practice round before the school shooting on November 30th. You saw how he stood. You knew how to use the gun, Assistant Prosecutor Mark Keese said while cross-examining the mother last week. Yes, he did, Jennifer Crumbley replied. In her closing argument Friday, McDonald said she filed the unprecedented charges because of the unique, egregious facts leading up to the massacre. School officials insisted they would not have agreed to keep Ethan Crumbley on campus that day if the parents had shared information about the new gun, which the boy on social media called his beauty. The words with the disturbing drawing said, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me. The world is dead. My life is useless." He literally drew a picture of what he was going to do, McDonald said. It says, "Help me." Besides 17-year-old Justin Schilling and 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, Hannah St. Juliana, 14, and Tate Meyer, 16, were also killed. 7 people were wounded. Ethan Crumbley, now 17, pleaded guilty to murder and terrorism and is serving a life sentence. Jennifer Crumbley told jurors that it was her husband's job to keep track of the gun. She also said she saw no signs of mental distress in her son. "We could talk. We did a lot of things together," she testified. "I trusted him and I felt I had an open door. He could come to me about anything." In a journal found by police, Ethan Crumbley wrote that his parents wouldn't listen to his pleas for help. "I have zero help for my mental problems, and it's causing me to shoot up the school," he wrote. Prosecutors introduced evidence that Ethan Crumbley texted his mother in spring 2021 about demons throwing bowls and other hallucinations, but she told the jury that it was just Ethan messing around. "I have asked myself if I would have done anything differently. I wouldn't have. I wish he would have killed us instead," she testified. The jury of 6 men and 6 women included people who own guns or grew up with them in their home. Jennifer Crumbley will get credit for roughly 2.5 years in the county jail when she returns to court for sentencing on April 9th. The judge will set the minimum prison sentence based on scoring guidelines and other factors. It will be up to the Michigan Parole Board to determine how long she actually stays in prison. The maximum term for involuntary manslaughter is 10 years. Prosecutors have not said if they will ask for consecutive sentences on the 4 convictions, which could mean a maximum of 60 years if Judge Cheryl Matthews agrees. And then down here are some possible response questions that might help you think about what you want to talk about in the Socratic seminar. First bullet, what are your thoughts about holding the parents of the shooter responsible for their son's actions? Explain. Did something in the article surprise you? Discuss. Pick a word, line, passage from the article and respond to it. And discuss a move made by the writer in this piece that you think is good or interesting. Explain. I hope this helps you on your education journey.